If you're a religious person, you come here. You come to these guys. Some would say it's Stu and Jeffy, but we're going to say this is God and Satan.
Hello, Glenn.
Yeah. Why are you?
We've talked before.
Yeah. Why are you the first one to say hello to me? And God, I didn't know you wore a nice little clip in your hair, but that's nice. Okay.
It's humid. I had a bad hair day.
Right. Okay. So here's the thing. They're playing chess. They're playing a game, if you will. I don't believe he's playing a game, but he is, and he thinks he can win.
I know I can.
Yeah. I mean, we don't have to really act it out. I mean, I thought wearing the stupid outfit was enough, but all right. So he thinks he's going to win. Remember, the whole, if you believe in the Bible, the whole story is this guy thinks he can beat this guy. This theory came to me right after Auschwitz. I tried to figure out, how do you make people do this? And how do you stop them from doing it again? And I started looking at the whole arc of time. Here's the Yellow Star of David. But did you know that's not the first time that the Yellow Star of David was introduced? 1215. Was it Pope Innocent? Do you know? Was it Pope Innocent that did it?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, I think it was Pope Innocent that did it. 1215. All right, can we turn there? I mean, seriously.
I will not turn my microphone off.
All right. So Pope Innocent in 1215, he says that you have to have the yellow star. He wants people to wear the yellow star, Jews to wear the yellow star. So if you're having intercourse, you know you're not having intercourse with a Jew. I'm not kidding you. I'm not kidding you. That way, everybody, Christians can, you know, figure out which one's which. Henceforth, in case of criminal intercourse, no mistake can be alleged as an excuse. Because you'd say, I didn't know that I was having sex with a Jew. Really? This isn't the first time either. It actually starts here at 1075. What happened in 1075? How's the Yellow Star of David used in 1075? In 1075, it was actually used against the Jews in Baghdad. They were made to wear yellow stars, yellow badges. The law was yellow badges should be affixed to the headgear of every Jewish male. In addition to the badge on the head of the male, there'd also be a piece of lead, the weight of a silver coin, that was hung around the neck of every Jew. The lead pennant was to be inscribed with the word basically Jew, indicating that Jews were tribute bearers, that they had to pay an extra tax. Each woman, if you were Jewish, had to wear one red shoe and one black shoe. Furthermore, every woman will have a pair or have a small copper bell on her neck or on her shoe that would tinkle, so you would know that if she's coming, she's a Jew, not a Muslim. Okay? That's the first time this was introduced. So you see a pattern happening. And each time, it's evil. Each time it's evil. When I started looking at the timeline, and believe me, this is going to make sense. Maybe you'll disagree with it, but it will tie together. When you look at the timeline, the Romans destroyed Jerusalem. The Second Jewish Revolution, Jews banned within 3 miles of Jerusalem. The Christians recapture. They start to wear yellow stars in Baghdad. 12,000 Jews killed in the First Crusade. Jews were expelled from France, forced to wear the yellow stars. They're expelled from England, expelled from Hungary, Austria, Spain, Lithuania, Portugal. They're banned in Russia. By the way, banned in Russia, that was just suggested again to ban people, to ban Jews in Russia, just recently. Then Martin Luther writes concerning the Jews and their lies. Remember, that is something that Hitler uses. Martin Luther also is something we showed you at the beginning of the show that they're using in American colleges now to smear the Jews. It repeats itself. Come back to the game. if you come back to the game and you realize that he thinks he can beat him, then you have to ask, what is the game all about? How could he possibly beat? I know this because when I was an alcoholic, and I stood in the waters of baptism, and I needed redemption. I needed to start my life all over again. I know this, and this is what came to me on this arc of time, because I was arrogant enough to say to this guy, God, you promise me that if I do these things, you will take all this away from me. And if you don't do it, you cease to be God. It means you're a fraud. That's what came to me when I was in Auschwitz. Wait a minute. Back here at the beginning, at the first time that God appears to man, and man first makes his connection with God is with Abraham. He's standing here with Abraham, and God says, I will make you a great nation, and I will protect you, and I will regather you. If I'm him, and I'm trying to beat him, all I have to do is make him break his promise. I have to get him to break the promise of, I'll make you a great nation, I'll regather you, and then I'll come in the moment of redemption. He has to break it. That's why the Jews are rounded up and killed every single time. Because if you notice, when these things happen, it always gets a little better. It always gets, evil learns. All the way down to Hitler's uniforms. When it was made to look good. The German people, the uniforms were made by Hugo Boss, snappy uniforms. Everything looked so great, so grand. It was perverted. It wasn't good. It was evil. But they tried to suck it in and make you look. Those jackbooted thugs, now you see them coming. But then it was good. So now they have to wrap it differently to remember when the seeds of this were planted. The seeds of this were planted here. What's happening in the Middle East comes out of the Nazi era. Nazi era comes out of this. It just keeps getting better. He's still trying to win. If he can kill all of God's promised people, all of his chosen people, if he can kill them, then he automatically breaks his promise and he ceases to be God and he wins. It's checkmate. That's what's happening here. We are the chess pieces. We're the ones being moved on the table. He's counting on us to recognize it. Because this guy is trying to make him break the first promise. All the way through, the amazing thing about the Jewish people is they have been told by God through Moses, do not take on the God of the stranger. Do not take on the God of the stranger. Well, when you're coming out here, and immediately this guy perverts all religious people. He perverts them and tells them, go get him, go get him, go get him. So now they don't trust anybody that says they're with God. They don't trust anybody but themselves. They trust no one all the way through because they've got a history of religion persecuting them. And yet they still, many of them, still hold fast and stand exactly where he told them to stand because he covenanted with them and said, I'll be back at the end of time. I'll be back. I will protect you. Just do these things. They have done it from there to here. Exactly what he asked them to do. Millions have been killed in the meantime. Millions have been lost. Millions lost their way. But they're standing because they know he'll keep his promise. He doesn't win in the end. But this explains, to me at least, what's happening. They're playing a game. Only one's going to win. Only one's really playing thinking that he can win. It's this one. I don't think, I mean, you know what? If Satan were to have a body, it would look like this, don't you think? Seriously? Because you'd never see this guy coming.
It's funny, Glenn.
He doesn't deal with temptation well.
Yeah. Back in just a second.
GBTV. The truth lives here.